It's currently 30 degrees Celsius on this hot and sunny day in Busan. Afternoon highs will stay at 30 degrees Celsius with brief raindrops in parts of the city. It's time to wrap up this hour's news. Thank you for joining. You're listening to BFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
Coming up next is Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon. BEFM 부산영어방송.
In the midst of a series of recent incidents involving infringements on teachers' rights, such as students assaulting teachers, the Busan Metropolitan Office of Education has decided to intervene promptly in such cases. 최근 교권 침해 사건이 잇따르는 가운데 부산시 교육청이 사건 즉시 개입하기로 했습니다. This reflects the city's determination not to let teachers fight this battle alone. It seems like now is a critical moment for parents, students, and teaching staff organizations to really seriously contemplate how to restore teachers' rights. Well, this is Busan Worldwide, and I'm your host, Stephanie Yoon. Good morning and welcome to Busan Worldwide on this Tuesday morning. It is July 25th, and thank you so much for tuning in to BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Now, in Seoul, there was a case where a teacher was assaulted by a student, while another incident involved a teacher tragically taking their own life due to complaints from parents. Even here in Busan, it was revealed that a third-grade student had assaulted a teacher last month. 부산시 교육청의 조사 결과 지난달 30일까지 부산에서 발생한 교권 침해 사례는 모두 68건으로 집계됐는데요. According to the investigation results from the Busan Metropolitan Office of Education, there was a total of 68 cases of infringements on teachers' rights in Busan until the 30th of last month. Teaching staff organizations actually believe there may be even more unreported or hidden cases of such infringements. And amidst this, the Busan Metropolitan Office of Education has decided to step in and provide all necessary support, including legal measures, as soon as an incident of teachers' rights infringement occurs. Now, while the policy of providing legal support at the educational level is great, the question remains, can these policies alone restore teachers' rights? This is a complex issue entangled with societal, institutional, and hierarchical problems, so it seems that parents, students, teachers, and teaching staff organizations all need to come together to solve this problem ASAP together. Well, listeners, thank you again for tuning in to Busan Worldwide. Now, the time is 11:07, and let me briefly tell you what we have going on for the next hour. So coming up next, we have The Interview, which is our main segment. Today, we're going to be talking about public bathhouses, so stay tuned for that. After that, we have Up Busan 2030, where we will update you with World Expo news with an expo-related quiz each day. And lastly, we have Correspondent Report. 오늘은 인도네시아 통신원과 연결하고요. As always, we are live on YouTube, so you can go to YouTube and search BEFM or 부산 영어 방송 and check out our studio, check out our guests, as well as send us messages on YouTube or send us messages on KakaoTalk or #9050 as well. We have 인류의 충전 손님 messaging in already saying, good morning. The weather seems great but very hot. Stay hydrated, people. Yes, indeed, it is very hot today. day, do make sure that you are staying hydrated. Yesterday, I do remember one of the listeners sending in messages commenting about how I drink my coffee every day. I know it is very important to drink water, not just coffee, so do note that as well. Now, listeners, from Busan to the world, Busan Worldwide. 오늘의 더 인터뷰 라이브로 만나보시죠. Now it's time for the interview. Listeners, do you enjoy public bathhouses? It's always a refreshing feeling after you spend some time in the hot bath or steam rooms as well. Now, did you know the 떼수건 washcloth, right, that you use at bathhouses and the 떼미리 machine that you find in all bathhouses were invented right here in our city, Busan? And there is a special organization that studies our neighborhood bathhouses. So please welcome Miss An Ji-hyun, Director of 매끈목욕연구소, in English, Smooth Daily Lab. 네, 여러분은 공중 목욕탕 좋아하시나요? 뜨거운 탕에 몸을 담그고 땀을 쭉 빼고 나면 기분이 상쾌해지는데요. 우리 부산에 동네 목욕탕을 연구하는 모임이 있습니다. 안지현 매끈목욕연구소장과 함께 자세한 이야기 나눠보겠습니다. 안녕하십니까?
안녕하십니까?
네, 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
All right, it's a pleasure to have you in the studio today. Now the name 매끈목욕연구소, in English, Smooth Daily Lab, but also if you directly translate it, you could say Smooth Bath Institute as well. So it's very witty. So please introduce your organization to our listeners. 매끈목욕연구소 이름도 재치가 넘치는데요. 이 연구소 어떤 곳인지 소개 부탁드릴게요.
네. 매끈목욕연구소는 부산에 사라져가는 동네 목욕탕을 새로운 시각으로 바라보고 동네 목욕탕 문화를 다시 열어가고자 하는 단체입니다. 그래서 동네 목욕탕의 현재를 기록하고 목욕탕에서 단지 목욕만 하는 곳이 아닌 새로운 라이프 스타일 공간으로 진화할 수 있도록 브랜딩하고 일상 회복의 명소로 거듭날 수 있도록 기획하는 단체입니다.
그렇군요. 이 동네 목욕탕 문화를 다시 열어가고자 하는 단체라고 말씀해 주셨어요. So she shared that 매끈목욕연구소, or Smooth Daily Lab, is an organization that wants to look at Busan's disappearing neighborhood bathhouses in a new light and reintroduce the bathhouse culture to citizens. They create records and data on the current status of neighborhood bathhouses and carry out planning to brand them so that they can change into a new lifestyle space, not just a place for baths, but also becoming a source for recharging for visitors. Well, last month, an event called 목욕탕 was held at the 영도구 봉래탕. So tell us about the event and what was the response of the visitors. 네, 지난달 영도구 봉래탕에서는 목욕탕이라는 이색적인 행사가 있었다고 하는데요. 어떤 행사였는지 또 시민들 반응은 어땠는지 궁금합니다.
네. 영도 봉래탕은 실제로 운영하는 이제 동네 목욕탕인데 정기 휴무일인 6월 6일, 13일 양 이틀간 주인 몰래 운영하는 몰래탕이라는 컨셉으로 저희가 팝업 스토어를 열었습니다.
네.
이틀간 한 500명 가까이의 시민들이 방문해 주셨고요. 연령과 지역에 상관없이 정말 다양한 분들이 오셔서 즐기고 가셨는데 이제 어르신들의 같은 경우에는 옛 추억을 떠올리는 시간이 되었다고 좋아하셨고
네.
젊은 친구들은 난생 처음 목욕탕을 대중목욕탕을 방문하셔서 목욕탕에 대한 좋은 이미지를 가지게 되었다고 말씀해 주셨습니다.
그렇군요. 이 몰래탕이란 컨셉의 팝업 스토어를 열었군요. Now, she shared that 영도 봉래탕 is currently a bathhouse that is in operation, and on their regularly scheduled days off of the bathhouse, June 6th and the 13th, they held what's called 몰래탕 pop-up store under the theme of opening the bathhouse without the owner knowing. So they had about 500 visitors from various places and of all ages, and all of them very much enjoyed the event. The older visitors got to reminisce about their younger days and visiting the bathhouses, and younger visitors got the chance to see what the bathhouses are about. And if you missed it, as I did as well, and want to go visit it in the future, she shared it before the interview that they are planning for more of these pop-up stores in the future, so look out for that. Now, it's unfortunate that the popularity of neighborhood bathhouses has waned over the years, and we hear about old bathhouses being turned into cafes, but it's a first for me hearing of one turning into an event or cultural space as well. So how did this event come to be? 옛날 목욕탕이 카페로 변하는 경우는 봤는데 목욕탕이 이벤트의 공간이 된 건 처음인 것 같아요. 어떻게 이런 행사를 기획하게 되셨나요?
네, 산업화와 코로나로 인해서 동네 목욕탕이라는 공간이 점점 지금 사라지고 있습니다.
네.
동네 목욕탕이 단지 목욕만 하는 공간이 아닌 과거에는 동네 이제 커뮤니티 공간으로 한 소중한 생활문화 자산이었는데 그게 점점 사라지고 있고 누구도 기록하거나 이제 기억하지 않으려고 하는 점이 너무 안타까웠습니다.
네.
그래서 저희라도 동네 목욕탕을 많은 사람들에게 다시 한번 알려야겠다는 생각을 하게 되었고 그렇다면 동네 목욕탕이 단순히 목욕만 하는 공간이 아닌 시대에 맞는 다양한 역할을 더 부여하면 어떨까 해서 팝업 스토어나 북토크 같은 것을 기획하게 되었습니다.
그렇군요. So due to rapid industrialization and the recent pandemic, neighborhood bathhouses are disappearing as we see. And neighborhood bathhouses were not just a place for bathing, but also a valuable living cultural asset for communities in the past. So the sad reality is that these bathhouses are disappearing and no one was recording information or data on them and preserving the culture. So her organization thought to introduce neighborhood bathhouses to people once again and show them that bathhouses are much more than just for bathing. So they planned pop-up stores and book talks as well. So most people know the renowned bathhouse culture of Japan. So the bathhouse culture is still thriving in Japan, right? 이 온천의 나라로 알려진 일본에서는 목욕탕 문화가 특히 발달했다고 하던데요. 일본에서는 지금도 동네 목욕탕이 성행하고 있나요?
사실 일본도 저희 나라와 마찬가지로 동네 목욕탕이 점점 사라지고 있는 추세입니다. 하지만 저희하고 다른 점은 이 동네 목욕탕을 지키고자 하는 사람들이 굉장히 많습니다. 정부에서도 목욕탕을 지키기 위해서 목욕비를 지원해주기도 하고 또 역사가 깊은 곳은 문화재로 지정을 하기도 하고요. 또 민간에는 젊은 20, 30대들이 동네 목욕탕과 지역 콘텐츠를 엮어서 다양한 문화 프로그램을 운영하고 있습니다. 예를 들어서 지역 상인들과 다과회를 하거나 차교실 같은 것을 열기도 하고요. 지역 어르신, 어린이들 방과후 교실도 목욕탕 안에서 운영합니다. 또 어떤 곳은 목욕탕을 20, 30대들이 좋아하는 클럽 분위기로 리모델링을 하거나 입구에 일부 바를 운영하는 곳도 있습니다.
그렇군요. 이 한국에서도 그렇게 다양한 콘텐츠와 프로그램을 통해서 동네 목욕탕을 지켜나갔으면 합니다. So she said, actually in Japan, just like in Korea, neighborhood bathhouses are disappearing. But the difference is that there are still a lot of people there who want to keep them alive. The government subsidizes bathhouses to keep them operating, or if they have a lot of history, they're designated as cultural properties. Even young people in their 20s and 30s are putting on various cultural programs that incorporate local content for the bathhouses, like tea parties and tea classes, along with local businesses. They also run after-school classes for the elderly and children on bathhouses, and some have remodeled their bathhouses into clubs that are popular with the younger generation, while others have turned parts of the entrance into a bar, which is very interesting. Now, listeners, if you're just tuning in to Busan Worldwide, we're in the middle of the interview with Miss An Ji-hyun. She's the director of 매끈목욕연구소, or Smooth Daily Lab, talking about different bathhouses and public bathhouses and the culture, preserving the culture as well, especially here in Busan. Now, we do have some of the messages coming in on YouTube. We have 인류의 충전소님 saying, I love the name, 매끈목욕연구소. I love it as well. And we have Justina Kim님 saying, 안녕하세요. 통영에서 맥주 브루어리인 목욕탕을 본 적이 있어요. So there's in 통영 like a beer brewery place that is actually a bathhouse. That is very interesting. So many creative ideas when it comes to preserving and also appreciating and utilizing these places of bathhouses in Busan and around the nation as well. Now, I started our interview mentioning that the 때밀이 or the 떼수건 and the 때밀이 기계 were actually made in Busan. And I didn't know Busan was such a big part of the bathhouse culture in South Korea. So tell us about this. 이 떼수건 그리고 때밀이 기계가 부산에서 만들어졌다고 합니다. 부산이 목욕 문화를 선도했다고 할 수 있겠네요.
네, 맞습니다. 떼수건은 1967년에 부산의 초읍동에 한일직물이라는 이제 섬유회사 처음으로 이태리 타올이란 이름으로 이제 개발이 되었다고 하고요.
네.
때밀이 기계인 자동 등밀이 기계는 1981년 경향신문에 부산의 사하구 괴정동의 송기정이라는 분이 특허를 냈다는 기록이 있어서 아마도 부산에서 만들어졌다고 추정하는 것 같습니다.
네.
그리고 실제로 부산 경남 지역에는 이 자동 등밀이 기계가 굉장히 많은데 수도권 지역에는 이제 거의 없다고 할 수 있고요. 저희 생각에는 당시에 지금처럼 교통이 발달되지 않아서 AS 문제로 아마 부산 경남 지역에만 보급이 된 것으로 추정됩니다.
네.
그리고 이제 부산은 6.25 전쟁으로 인해서 피난민들이 산비탈에 정착하면서 일명 산동네 마을이 많은 곳입니다. 또 항구가 있어서 새로운 기술이나 문화를 굉장히 빨리 받아들일 수 있었고요. 그래서 이 척박한 환경과 더불어 항구라는 지리적 이점으로 인해서 말씀하신 것처럼 과거에는 부산이 목욕 문화를 선도했다고 생각합니다. 그래서 더욱더 그런 부산의 목욕탕을 지키고 목욕 문화를 지키고 보존해야 된다고 생각하고 있습니다.
네, 맞습니다. So she said it is said that the 떼수건 was first. These are those towels, right? Bath towels that you use kind of to like rub on your arm or your body. Now, 떼수건 was first developed in 1967 by a textile company called 한일 Textile in 초읍동, and they called it Italy towel. How interesting is that? And there is a record in the Gyeongyang newspaper in 1981 that a person by the name of 손기정 from Gyeong patented the 때밀이 machine. And you can find many of these machines in bathhouses around Busan and Gyeongnam, but there are only a few in the capital region. Logistics was probably not developed back then like it is now, so only bathhouses in Busan and Gyeongnam used them because they could get repairs here. Now, Busan took many refugees during the war, and many had settled into the hillside areas. And these neighborhoods referred to as 산동네 마을, or the hillside villages. Busan was also a port city, so it was possible to quickly adopt new technologies and cultures from other countries. And due to the geographical advantage of being a port city, and add that with the harsh environment back then, these might have been factors that led Busan to be at the forefront of the bathhouse culture in the past. And that is why efforts need to be made to protect and preserve the bathing culture of Busan even more. Well, your organization had created a special characters to go with 떼수건, so please introduce the characters to our listeners. 이 목욕탕 떼수건을 활용한 캐릭터도 제작하셨는데요. 캐릭터에 대해서도 소개 좀 해주세요.
네. 떼수건 삼총사 떼쟁이들이란 캐릭터를 개발해서 MZ 친구들에게 좀 더 쉽게 다가갈 수 있도록 저희가 하고 있습니다. 이
네.
떼쟁이들은 세계관이 또 따로 있는데요.
네.
영업이 잘 되지 않아서 목욕탕을 접을까 고민하는 사장님을 대신해서 목욕탕 영업이 끝나고 불이 꺼지면 떼쟁이 삼총사들이 나와서 이제 주인 몰래 목욕탕 구석구석을 깨끗이 관리하고 동이 트면 첫 손님이 찾아올 때까지 목욕탕을 지키는 요정 같은 친구들로 저희가 설정해서 만들어놨습니다.
그렇군요. 떼쟁이들이란 캐릭터 너무 귀여운데요. Now, so they're called the 떼쟁이들, Three Musketeers of 떼수건, and they're created to make the culture more accessible to the MZ generation. And to tell you the backstory of these characters, an owner of a bathhouse is about to call it quits because the business is not going well. And when the lights go off at the bathhouse, the three 떼수건 musketeers, right, they're called 떼쟁이들, and other amenities come to life, cleaning the bath facilities, looking after the bathhouse until the first customer visits the next day. And I do have some pictures with me on my phone. Now, there are three of them. There's the pink one, blue one, and the yellow one. You can just imagine the 떼수건, right, that we usually remember the green ones, but they're colorful. You can even buy the different products that are made out of these characters. Very cute indeed. Now, back then, patrons of bathhouses would wash each other's backs, share news, and talk with one another. You know, bathhouses, it was a place to help people unwind as well. So do you think we can make bathhouses into those kinds of places again? 예전 동네 목욕탕에서는 이웃들이 서로 등을 밀어주기도 하고 이야기를 나누고 일상의 피로를 푸는 장소였잖아요. 그런 정을 나누는 공간을 되살릴 수 있는 방법은 없을까요?
네, 그 방법을 지금 저희가 연구하고 있습니다. 근데 시대는 계속 변하는데 동네 목욕탕은 아무 변화 없이 옛 모습 그대로 유지될 수는 없을 것 같습니다. 그래서 시대 변화에 맞게 동네 목욕탕도 다양한 시도를 해야 하고 다양한 콘텐츠를 만들어야 본래의 동네 커뮤니티 역할을 되찾을 수 있을 것 같습니다. 그래서 많은 분들이 목욕탕이라는 공간에 더 많은 관심을 가질 수 있도록 저희가 다양한 콘텐츠를 생산하려고 합니다.
네, 알겠습니다. And she said that is why and what her organization is trying to do and research on. It's not effective if bathhouses remain the same while the rest of society is changing. The bathhouses need to stay relevant with the changing times, be able to provide various content to once again be a community space. The institute, the organization is doing its best to create new content so that people can be interested in bathhouses once again. Well, before we wrap up today's interview, share with us some of the plans for the future when it comes to the organization. 네, 앞으로 매끈목욕연구소에서 재미있는 행사들을 많이 할 수 있을 것 같은데요. 어떤 계획들을 갖고 있습니까?
우선은 현재 목욕탕 모습을 저희가 많이 기록하려고 하고 있고요. 그래서 사진이나 영상이나 3D 스캔 등 다양한 방법으로 현재 목욕탕들을 아카이빙 하려고 했습니다. 그리고 또 매 분기마다 집안 목욕탕이라는 잡지를 발행해서 보다 많은 사람들에게 목욕탕의 재미있는 이야기를 알리려고 하고 있고요. 향후에는 다양한 기업이나 관공서들과 콜라보레이션으로 재미있는 콘텐츠를 많이 만들기도 하고 또 일본의 목욕탕을 운영하시는 분들과 해외 컨퍼런스 같은 것도 진행하고 기획하려고 하겠습니다. 저희의 이런 작은 움직임이 대한민국 목욕탕 문화를 바꾸는 큰 파도가 일 때까지 열심히 움직이겠습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다. So she said that right now they're working on making records of current bathhouses, pictures, videos, 3D scans to put into archives. Also, each quarter of the year, they plan to publish a magazine called 집 앞 목욕탕 to tell people fun and interesting stories of bathhouses. I definitely want to see that magazine in the future. And they also plan on collaborating with various companies to create fun and new content, as well put on conferences inviting bathhouse owners from Japan. They want to create this new wave for the bathhouse culture of South Korea and definitely preserve it in the future as well. Well, that's going to do it for today's The Interview with Miss An Ji-hyun, director of 매끈목욕연구소, or Smooth Daily Lab, talking about bathhouses, public bathhouses, and how to preserve it in the future as well. 네, 오늘은 안지현 매끈목욕연구소장과 함께 자세한 이야기 나눠봤는데요. 소장님 오늘 출연 너무 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
All right. And that's going to do it for the interview. With that, let's take a quick song break. This is Oliver Nelson with Talk.
Hey, hey, are you getting hot over there, baby? Maybe I can loosen up your Dolce. Are you getting nervous on me? Words are pouring out 100 miles an hour. Slow down your tongue now. Your body is making more sense than you. Yeah, you're amazing. Don't tell me, show me what you're gonna do. I ain't crazy when you talk at me. At me. And my head's spinning when you talk at me. I'll be unacceptable. Don't excite me. If you wanna bring out the animal, excite me, baby. I'm crazy when you talk at me. I can't think of something better for your mouth to do. hey, hey. Want you in the bed I'm making, baby, so that we can mess it all up again. Had enough of pillow talking. Heart is pumping now, 100 miles an hour. Slow down your time now. Your body is making more sense than you. Yeah, quiet. Don't tell me, show me what you wanna do. I get crazy when you talk to me. I'll be honest, don't excite me. If you wanna bring out the animal, excite me, baby. I get crazy when you when you're gone and I'm home, all alone, and I pick up the phone and I'm dialing your number. But the message is stuck, 'cause I can't shut you up when I want you to just come on over. But I can think of something better for your mouth to do. Something so much better for your mouth to do. I can think of something better for your mouth to do. Something so much better for your mouth to do. I get crazy when you I'll be honest, don't excite me. If you wanna bring out the animal, excite me, baby. I get crazy when you I can think of something better for your mouth to do.
Welcome back to Busan Worldwide. I'm your host, Stephanie Yoon. The time is now 11:30. Hope you're having a wonderful morning so far. Now it's time for Up Busan 2030. It's a daily campaign segment in Busan Worldwide to learn more about World Expo until November, because that's when the host city for the 2030 World Expo will be decided on. So let's jump into it. Just 4 months away from the 2030 Busan World Expo host city selection vote, right? The Federation of Korean Industries is working to promote the bid to attract the expo to Busan. 네, 2030 월드엑스포 개최지 선정 투표를 4개월 앞두고 전국 경제인 연합회에서 유치 지원에 힘을 보태고 있습니다. 김병준 of the Federation of Korean Industries sent letters to each member country and company urging them to show interest and support for hosting the World Expo Busan. He said in this highly competitive situation that they all need to nationwide support and expectations, right? And companies and business people who actively engage in business in international markets like the US, Europe, Asia, and Africa, he called upon all of them to join forces as one team. And he added that they must mobilize all resources and stage a fierce battle, and that the companies are the most significant resource and support group for securing the expo to Busan. Following the Korea Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Federation of Korean Industries' involvement in supporting the Busan World Expo is expected to add more strength into the corporate support network. Okay, that was the update for the Busan World Expo Daily campaign here on Busan Worldwide. Now let's move on to the Daily Expo quiz. So as we approach the decision on the host city for the 2030 World Expo, there are only 4 months left. If Busan wins the bid, the venue will be in the area of Northport. As many of you already know, Northport is undergoing extensive redevelopment to become a landmark of Busan's future growth and prosperity. So here's the question for today. 엑스포 관련 문제 드리겠습니다. What's the name of the new road in Northport that starts from the 17-1 중앙동 5가 중구 district Busan and extends all the way to 45-69 초량동 동구 district. And this road is in Northport. 네, 북한에 새로 건설된 이 도로의 이름은 무엇일까요? And the question was, what is the name of the new road in Northport? And just a hint is that it is total of 8 lanes, right? 4 lane on one side and 4 lane on the other side. And the correct answer is Admiral 이순신 Street. 정답은 바로 이순신 대로입니다. So the Northport holds historical significance as the place where Admiral 이순신 achieved a great, significant victory over the Japanese forces during the Imjin War. And this recognition of this historical significance, to kind of honor that, the road was named after Admiral 이순신. Now, the officials from Busan City stated that the 이순신 Street, which crosses through Busan Northport, can be easily located using the road address. So, it's going to be very easy for all of us to remember 이순신 대로, right? Making it convenient for citizens searching for places like the Northport Culture Park as well. And this road will serve as an opportunity to inform citizens and remind the citizens about the historical significance of Northport and the meaning behind Busan Citizens Day as well. And if Busan becomes the host city for the 2030 World Expo, our city's history will definitely be widely known and celebrated not just here in Busan, but around the world as well. And that's it for Up Busan 2030, a daily campaign for the Busan World Expo. We're going to continue this segment until November. Let's take a quick song break. This is acoustic collabo with Sweet Love.
어색해하는 표정 어떻게 내가 모르겠니 서둘러 감춘 선물 모른 채 하기 힘든데 늘 서툰 사랑 표현해도 놀란 척 해보지만 그런 모습도 넌 서운한가 봐 서툴지만 소중한 사랑 넌 멋있기만 해 사랑해 그래 널 사랑해 항상 기억해줘 언제나 나는 네 사랑이란 걸 달콤한 너의 품에 살며시 안겨 눈 감으면 포근한 속삭임에 행복한 미소 짓게 돼 난 살짝 수줍은 척하며 살며시 눈을 뜨면 입 맞추려던 넌 딴청을 하지 바보야 사랑의 바보야 항상 서툴지만 소중한 사랑 난 즐겁기만 해 사랑해 그래 널 사랑해 항상 설레게 한 내 사랑 이제 날 안아주겠니 가끔은 서투른 사랑에 때론 서운하고 못내 아쉬운 난 돌아지지만 사랑해 그래도 사랑해 기억해줘 언제나 나는 네 사랑이란 걸 내 사랑이 쟨 날 안아주겠니
Beyond the borders of Busan, bringing the world back to you. Busan Worldwide with Stephanie Yoon.
The country's housing agency is calling attention to
Correspondent Report. That's right, it's time for Correspondent Report, where we connect with our reporters from all around the world. 네, 지금부터는 세계 곳곳의 통신원들을 만나보겠습니다. 라이브로 연결할 나라는 인도네시아인데요. 인도네시아 자카르타의 이영미 통신원과 함께합니다. 안녕하십니까?
네, 안녕하세요.
네, 반갑습니다. Now we're connected with Miss Lee Young-mi based in Indonesia. And if you are tuning in through YouTube, you can search BEFM and 부산영어방송 as well. And you can check out our reporter is live on YouTube with me as well. So you can check that out as well. So let's jump into our first news for today. Our first news is the impressive performance of Korean companies venturing into Indonesia, so we're going to hear a bit about this. 네, 첫 번째 소식으로 인도네시아에 진출한 한국 기업들의 활약상이 돋보이는 소식을 가져오셨다고요?
네, 지난 7월 14일 인도네시아 마카사르시에서 2023년 인도 지자체 전체 회의 아펙시 비즈니스 포럼이 개최되었습니다. 도지사, 시장, 군수 등 인도네시아 전역의 주요 98개 지방자치단체장들과 고위공직자들이 참가했는데요. 이 자리에서 대한무역투자진흥공사 코트라가 우수 중소기업 2국과 스마트 가루 등과 디지털 퍼블리싱을 소개했습니다.
I see. So on July 14th, the 2023 EPEXI Business Forum was held in Makassar, Indonesia. Now, EPEXI is Association of Municipal Governments of all Indonesia. And this event brought together key officials from 98 local municipalities and governments, including governors and mayors. The Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency, also known as KOTRA, took this opportunity to showcase two outstanding small and medium-sized Korean enterprises along with smart streetlights and digital publishing. 이 인도네시아 내 프로젝트를 추진 중이라고 알려진 대한민국의 혁신 기술이군요.
네, 맞습니다. 인도네시아는 신수도 이전 프로젝트를 중심으로 중앙정부와 지방정부가 인프라 개발과 확충에 전력을 다하고 있는데요. 이번에 코트라가 코리아 세션을 확보해 대한민국의 신기술과 우수 프로젝트 사례를 소개함으로써 우리 유망 기술 기업들이 인도네시아 정부 주도 프로젝트 시장 진출을 위한 가능성을 높일 것으로 전망됩니다.
I see. So Indonesia is focusing on infrastructure development, particularly with the capital city relocation project. With KOTRA securing Korea session, it opens doors for promising Korean tech firms to enter Indonesia's government-led project market. 우수 기술을 보유하고 있으나 현지에서 마케팅과 수출의 어려움을 겪는 기업들에게 도움이 되겠군요.
네, 그렇습니다. 김준성 코트라 수라바야 무역관장은 최초 진입이 어려운 해외 조달 시장은 중장기적으로 안정적인 납품이 가능해 수출 유망 기업들이 간과할 수 없는 시장이다. 이번 아펙시는 우리 기업들이 평소 만나기 어려운 지방자치단체장들과 발주처 및 바이어들에게 호감을 살 좋은 기회라고 말했습니다.
I see. So Kim Jun-sung, KOTRA's Surabaya Trade Commissioner, stated that the overseas procurement market, which is initially challenging, provides a stable opportunity for mid to long-term deliveries, making an essential market for export promising companies. And EPEXI presented a favorable occasion for their companies to establish good relationships with local municipal office officials, buyers, clients whom they usually don't have easy access to. 코트라가 국내 기업들의 프로젝트 수주 지원을 위해 스마트시티 로드쇼도 개최했다고 하는데요. 자세한 내용 전해주시죠.
네, 코트라는 지난 18일 인도네시아 수라바야의 한국 스마트시티 혁신기술 발표회에서 한국 스마트시티 기업들의 최신 기술과 신제품을 소개했습니다. 스마트 가로등, AR 3차원 측량, 드론 기반 지리정보 시스템 솔루션 등을 위한 1대1 프로젝트 상담회도 진행했습니다. 코트라는 지난해부터 스마트 가로등 제조기업과 인도네시아 스마트시티 시장 첫 진출을 위해 프로젝트 수주 지원 컨소시엄을 구성해 3,200만 달러 규모의 인도네시아 마디운시 가로등 교체 프로젝트를 발굴하기도 했습니다.
그렇군요. So Kotra organized the Smart City Roadshow in Surabaya, Indonesia, where Korean smart city companies presented their latest technologies and new products. There were also one-on-one project consultation sessions for smart street lights, AR 3D surveying, and drone-based geospatial information system solutions. Also, Kotra formed a project support consortium last year, securing a $32 million streetlight replacement project in Madiun as the first entry of Korean smart city companies into the Indonesian market. Well, with that, let's move on to our second news. The K-Food Fair in Jakarta celebrating the 50th anniversary of Korean-Indonesian diplomatic relations. 네, 다음 소식 볼게요. 인도네시아 자카르타에서 한인리 수교 50주년을 기념해 한국 식품을 알리는 K-Food Fair 행사가 성황리에 열렸다고요?
네, 한국의 35개 농식품 업체가 참가한 K-푸드 페어가 지난 6월 22일부터 25일까지 열렸습니다. 477건의 상담과 20건의 계약과 업무 협약이 체결되었는데요. 각각 4,800만 달러와 500만 달러에 이르는 큰 성과를 거두었습니다.
그렇군요. So the K-Food Fair held from June 22nd to 25th had participation from 35 Korean agricultural and food companies, and the event resulted in 477 consultations and the signing of 20 contracts and MOUs totaling $48 million in achievements. 무슬림 국가인 인도네시아의 할랄 산업에 대한 관심과 중요성이 대두되고 있는 상황이죠?
네, 내년 10월부터 할랄 인증 의무제 시행을 앞두고 있어 인도네시아 할랄 인증을 담당하는 정부기관인 할랄청 BPJPH의 할랄 세미나도 개최되었는데요. 한국의 농축산식품부에서는 국내 할랄 인증 기관 2곳이 인도네시아 할랄청과 상호 인증을 신청해 협의하며 상호 인증 결과를 기다리고 있는 상황이라고 전했습니다. 인도네시아 내 유통되는 모든 식음료 제품에 대하여 할랄 인증이 의무화되면 할랄 인증을 받지 못한 식음료 제품은 포장지에 비할랄 표식을 해 할랄 인증 제품과 분리되어 별도의 판매대에서 판매된다고 합니다.
I see. So starting from October next year, Indonesia will implement the mandatory halal certification regulation. A halal seminar was organized by the Indonesian government agency in charge of halal certification, BPJPH, in preparation for this. Notably, 2 Korean halal certification agencies have applied for mutual recognition with BPJPH. Once the regulation is in effect, all food and beverage products distributed in Indonesia must have halal certification, and non-certified products will be labeled as non-halal and sold separately from halal certified products. So then let's hear about how the companies will obtain halal certification in Indonesia. 한국 기업 등 해외 기업들이 인도네시아 할랄 인증을 획득하기 위해 어떤 절차를 거쳐야 하나요?
먼저 인도네시아 할랄청에 등록을 접수하고 할랄 심사기관 중에 하나인 이슬람 최고 의결기관인 울레마 협의회 MUE에서 서류 검사와 공정 심사를 통과합니다. 그 후 MUE 파트와 위원회에서 최종 승인을 거치면 인도네시아 할랄청에서 최종적으로 인도네시아 할랄 인증서를 획득하게 됩니다.
그렇군요. 절차가 꽤 복잡한데요. So she said, well, first they need to register with the Indonesian Halal Certification Agency and go through document inspection and factory assessment conducted by one of the halal auditing institutions, the Majelis Ulama Indonesia, MUI. And once they pass through the MUI's fatwa committee and receive final approval, they will obtain the official Indonesian Halal certification from the Indonesia Halal Certification Agency. 이미 인도네시아에 진출했거나 진출을 계획하는 식음료 한국 기업은 재빨리 할랄 인증을 진행하여 유리하겠네요.
네. 다행인 것은 그동안 2년에서 4년으로 조정되었던 인도네시아 할랄 인증 유효 기간이 올해 5월부터 한 번 등록한 제품은 다시 갱신할 필요가 없는 종신형으로 바뀌어 비용 부담이 줄었다는 점입니다.
그렇군요. So fortunately, the valid duration of Indonesian halal certification, which used to be adjusted every 2 to 4 years, has changed to a lifetime registration since May this year, reducing the burden of re-registration for products. With that, let's move on to our final topic for today. 마지막 소식 볼게요. 최근 자카르타 중앙법원이 기독교인 남성과 무슬림 여성의 혼인을 받아주면서 논란이 되었다고요?
네. 인도네시아에서는 무슬림이 아닌 다른 이교들 간의 혼인은 예외적으로 인정되는 경우가 있지만 무슬림과 비무슬림의 혼인은 사실상 불가능합니다. 이슬람 최고 의결기관인 울레마 협의회는 이교도 간 결혼을 허용하지 않는데요. 하지만 법원도 혼인신고를 받을 수 있다는 민사행정법을 근거로 이교도 간 혼인을 받아줘 사회적으로 큰 이슈가 되고 있는 상황입니다.
I see. So while interfaith marriages between individuals from different religions are sometimes allowed as exceptions in Indonesia, marriages between Muslims and non-Muslims are practically impossible in the nation. The MUI, as we mentioned before, as the highest Islamic advisory body, prohibits such interfaith marriages. However, the court accepted the marriage registration based on civil administrative law, which became a significant social issue. 인도네시아에서는 혼인을 종교의 영역으로 보고 있어서 문제가 되었군요.
진행장님이 포인트를 정확히 짚으셨습니다. 무슬림은 종교청에, 비무슬림은 일반관청에 각각 혼인신고를 합니다. 논란이 일자 무함마드 샤리푸딘 대법원장이 직접 나서 하급 법원 판사들에게 회람을 통해 법원은 다른 종교와 신념을 가진 사람들 간 결혼 등록 요청을 허가할 수 없다. 결혼법을 준수하라고 명령했습니다. MU이는 대법원의 명령을 환영하며 성명을 통해 결혼법을 이해하지 못하거나 이해하지 못하는 척하는 판사들은 대법원의 회람을 준수하라고 강한 목소리를 냈습니다.
I see. So in Indonesia, Muslims go to the Office of Religious Affairs, KUA, while non-Muslims go to regular government offices to register their marriages. The controversy escalated when Supreme Court Chief Justice issued a circular to judges stating the court can't grant any request for registration for marriages between people of different religions and beliefs. And the circular emphasized the importance of adhering to the marriage law. The MUI welcomed the court's order, including in a statement that all parties must obey the circular, especially judges who don't understand or pretend not to understand the marriage law. 이 견공 커플 결혼식에 한화 1,700만 원을 쓴 대통령실 공무원도 여론의 문매를 맡고 있다고요?
네, 인도네시아 대통령실에서 일하는 한 공무원이 2억 루피아에 가까운 거액을 들여 반려견을 위한 호화 결혼식을 열고 이를 SNS에 자랑하는 황당한 일이 벌어졌습니다. 자바 전통 홀레복을 입히고 카톨릭식 혼인 서약서까지 작성해 더 문제가 되었는데요. 조코 위도도 인도네시아 대통령은 지난 3월 연설을 통해 공무원들에게 사치스러운 생활을 과시하지 말라고 경고한 바 있습니다.
그렇군요. So an Indonesian government employee at the presidential office held an extravagant wedding ceremony for their pet dog, costing near 200 million rupiahs. And this event was shared on social media, where the dog was dressed in traditional Javanese wedding attire, and a Catholic wedding vow was even prepared. And this is even after President Joko Widodo cautioned government workers in a speech last March not to showcase luxurious lifestyles. Very interesting news coming from Indonesia. 인도네시아는 넓고 사건도 정말 많은데요. 인도네시아 소식 여기까지 듣겠습니다. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. 인도네시아 자카르타에서 통신원 이영미였습니다.
All right, and that was Miss E. Youngmi based in Indonesia. Part of our segment called Correspondent Report, hearing all about what's going on in different nations. And thank you so much for that. The time is now 11:52, and before we wrap up today's show, I do want to thank you for just joining us for the past hour. Whether you're joining through radio, the YouTube, or the app as well, we appreciate you and just sending us messages as well. If you are tuning in through YouTube, you can always search BEFM or 부산영어방송, and we ask that you like all of our shows and our videos, and even send us messages. And if you have not yet subscribed to BEFM, then go and do that right now. Very easy, right? That 구독 button is very small, but also very big for our hearts. So go and do that for us. And this program was produced by Tina Part, written by Pangmira. I've been your host, Stephanie Yoon. And the final song for today is RCP with Universally Speaking. See you tomorrow.
Cheese, still I so admire. Bloodshot your smile, delicate and wild. Give me she will style, rip right through me. Silhouette of the jets of a lifetime. Go and get her, I got her on my mind. Nothing better, the feeling is so fine. Simply put, I saw your love stream flow. Come on, baby, 'cause there's no name for. Give it up and I got what I came for. Universally speaking, I take it back and you make me nervous. Nothing better than love and service. Universally speaking, I win in the long run. I saw your crime, dying to get high. Two of a kind, beats our hands tonight. Silhouette of the jets of a lifetime. Go and get her, I got her on my mind. All the better to make it so fine. Simply put, I saw your love stream flow. Come on, baby, 'cause there's no name for. Give it up and I got what I came for. Universally speaking, I take it back and you make me nervous. Nothing better than love and service. Universally speaking, I win in the long run.
During the summer monsoon season, Korea is often met with